Yeah, I'm gonna start with a jingle. Yo, welcome back. Welcome one, welcome all to Speakeasy podcast. Woo! I am back. I'm Darryl.
I'm Phil.
I'm Miss Sarah. What's good? What's
And we are
good?
back with another episode. Now the Wednesday. We good? How y'all? How y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you, Philip?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty all right. School's starting. I'm loving my classes.
Yeah,
Everything's
actually, our
going
classes
well.
are quite interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like, how's the teachers and stuff? How's the beginning of it? You guys feeling a good vibe from it, or?
Yeah,
If you,
yeah. I'm enjoying. Most of the teachers I have are very insightful. They've got interesting stories to tell. Like I
mm,
have a teacher. You've also had him, Daryl.
mm,
Wrist,
yeah,
who says he was born during the World War.
yeah,
So he has a lot of interesting stories to tell
yeah. He,
relating to
he goes on
that.
a tangent. He goes on a tangent about talking.
He really does.
The
He's
funny thing
born
is,
during World War II. Damn,
yeah.
that guy's old as fuck.
No, he is old. He's quite like 67 or something
Yeah,
like around that age.
67.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me do the
60,
math here.
60, 70 ish, like around that.
yeah, in that
He's
region.
way more than 60, bro. Because like, if it's 19, like the end of World War II was like 1945.
Well,
Let's
it's
just say
probably
that
like
he's
70,
born.
80, 80, 70 or 80, but he's old as fuck.
Oh yeah, he's probably in the 80s right now.
But yeah, he was talking about like the first time I met him was the my school's orientation, and he was talking about his collection, his wine collection. He went on a like he was talking about like yeah, this wine came from like the southern parts of Italy that went through like the grapes from this place is very rare, and like it's very juicy, and I have like five categories of wine in my house. It's like hilarious tangents. They have nothing to do with nothing.
That's true. They really don't have anything to do with film, but
Yeah, it's so like calm. It's like you just sit there. You're like, oh, this is quite
it's
interesting.
like listening to a podcast.
Yeah, that's basically it. And funny enough, one of our final assignment is a podcast. So
That is true. We will be probably posting it.
Can I get credited on that stuff? Because I'm in the podcast, right? Well, I'm not in the program, but can at least I get like 3 credit
hey,
points at least so I can
I'm,
skip a class?
I'm sure
That'd be great.
if you sweet talk in, because
You can have a conversation with them. It'll be interesting for sure.
I,
how
I
about
had a I had a like a weird teacher like that. Like he didn't like tell stories in the beginning. It was when I used to be in Concordia, there was this teacher that taught like C language and programming.
mm,
Mm.
And like the first day of school, like his first day of class, he showed up with a guitar and started playing guitar in the middle of the class. And he's like, "This is the introduction to C language." And he's like, "Ding!" And I knew
yeah.
we were all fucked, bro. I knew
I,
from this moment. I dropped the class like the next day because I'm like, "Ah, man, this guy's nuts."
but no, but I think he was talking about the C major chord. That's why it made
Yeah, I
sense with
think
the.
he's
Yo, as soon as he pulled out the card, I swear to God, as soon as he pulled out the guitar, I knew it was about that bullshit, man. I knew it was about
true
that
that.
bullshit.
To be fair with Nasara, guys with guitars tend to be a bit douchey.
Okay, I'm gonna say this on like as a side note. I know people are gonna get triggered by this, but people with guitars, bro, I swear they got some hidden shit that they're like hiding from you, man. It's like some like horror movie stuff. You guys like into the whole movie stuff, you know? You know it.
You would think it's the ones who have.
Oh shit!
I sold mine. I sold mine, so I can't showcase mine. But I sold, but you would think it would be the ones who play drums, no? Because they're just constantly hitting stuff.
Nah,
There's like stress inside.
it's
Of
the
it.
guitar dudes, man. It's the guitar dudes. But hey, Phil is an exception. He's a cool dude. he's a chill dude. Once you get to know Phil, you'll know he's a nice guy. But like everybody else with the guitars, beware of me. Beware. I'm on all your cases.
What do you think? Do you guys prefer teachers who are more straight to the point? You guys like teachers are more sort of like nice and more open to like stuff and like just very
Um,
light teachers.
it depends. I think most of the time, I actually prefer the ones who are more open, where the
Mm,
conversation is more open.
mm.
There's like exceptions, and there's like to a degree,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But like when it's more an open conversation, there's more of a free flow of ideas, and you
Mm,
actually learn from them even more than just in the subject. You learn from them as people, right?
yeah.
So it's almost like making a friend, and friends are people through which you grow from just knowing them.
Mm,
So
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I agree that teachers should be more down to earth with their students.
mm,
I feel like they should like bring something to the table, like, oh, hey, this is my interest.
mm,
What's yours? It's like it's like the teachers taking the time to get to know their students, and it's very important. I give that sort of appreciation to those teachers that put in the effort to put in the extra step to get to know
get to
their
know their
students
yeah.
more than just numbers. Actually, like,
Yeah.
because some teachers treat their students exactly as numbers. They're like, yeah, what's your student ID again? Motherfucker, I got a name.
but granted, if you're like in a class that has 400 people in it, you can't really know every
Yeah,
single
I
person's
mean,
name.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
listen. If
yeah,
if
fuck with
if
fans.
if I'm a Richard, bro, I look like a Richard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy to. It's not like hard to forget Richard. You know what I'm saying?
Because I know there's because we had a lot of back in high school we had a lot of teachers who were both either like very very funny but like you wouldn't learn much with them, or your teachers
Yeah.
are very very strict. You know what I'm talking about? But the teachers are very very strict that have like very like if you do something wrong, you don't follow the rules, they fucking yell at you and throw you in
Because
detention.
here's the thing, like, you know why I said that, like, dudes with guitars, is like, because the guy just, like, the first day of class, he just plays the guitar, right? I was like, oh, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's what follows after it. I was like, oh man, my gut instinct, it kicked in, and I knew it was there was some kind of bullshit behind it. Like, the guy like spoke, those kind of teachers like that speak to themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really speak to the class; they just speak with themselves. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have this mutual understanding with yourself.
Yeah.
Nah, focus on making that understanding with us. We're
Yeah.
the students. We need to learn from you.
Yeah.
That's my trigger point.
I think that in a university, like well at least for me, like most of the university teachers I had were mostly like PhD students, so they're like in
Mhm.
their first or second year of teaching, so it's like
Mm.
they don't really have this sort of familiarity of how to teach and how to like. But I also feel there's a better rapport between them and the students because they know how what works and what doesn't work. As in
Yeah.
work ethic. So like they would not like assign like 20 fucking lectures for 1 week, knowing that people would most likely not read it. So it's like
But
Yeah.
there's a difference, though. There's a difference between like teachers that teach because it's their actual job, and like
yeah,
versus students that understand the material and they attempt to explain it because teaching the material is a skill by itself.
Yeah.
Because people misunderstand, like, oh, you're good at math. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can teach it.
yeah.
True.
Teaching it is a skill by itself. You have
Yeah.
to like learn how to transmit information from one person to the other. That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
I feel you could
Yeah.
tell whether or not the teachers want to teach it or they're just there.
Exactly. And as soon as I sensed that, I dropped that bitch so quick.
I mean, yeah, your dad is a teacher, Phil. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
He has mixed reviews on.
Oh, what does he teach?
Yeah. So he's a teacher at McGill in engineering. He teaches
Really?
probability, stats, and signal processing.
Ah.
Like-
Which field did he work in?
Well, he's a physician,
I see.
so
Okay.
he has a PhD in physics.
So does he teach you the same way that he teaches his students, or it's a lot more very more leeway for my kid?
He does have a tendency when I was like growing up, he would like try to cram into my brain all these notions of like science, physics,
Yeah.
chemistry, things like that, and like math.
Yeah.
He reads and buys math books for fun. It's what he does on his spare time.
He likes math. Yeah.
He really, really, really loves it. Like
It's his passion, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
100% his passion, and that I respect like his drive to do his work because he's passionate about the work. And he talks to me sometimes about how like the job isn't it's not perfect.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of aspects where he doesn't want to be doing this thing. He wants to be doing like what his job description is, but his job comes with other things, like he's not just a professor. He has to do research, and he has to
does he tell you how he sort of plans out his year in terms of like how teachers plan out their year in general, or is it more like sort of like it's already placed out by the university, or
it's a bit of both. He has some leeway,
okay,
but it's like there's still like so much to do in some portions of the year that it's kind of expected that
he puts his own thing. Yeah.
But he has to conform to the school's curriculum at the same
To a
time
degree,
as
yeah.
introducing the subject, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you guys think about the school curriculum? Do you think it's like, well, on your specific field, say like from sorry, you was engineering, right? You
Hmm.
were studying. Like,
Hmm.
what did it like work out? Did it make sense that classes you took were part of your curriculum, or it was just sort of like I guess this is
No, not really. The thing is, when you want to specialize in a field, you have to go through all the basic courses first, right?
yeah, obviously, yeah.
But some of those basic courses are not necessarily part of the field that you're interested in. For
Mm,
example, mechanical engineers, they do some sort of like they do like programming and stuff. They do
yeah.
learn it and they do some sort of programming, but it's very basic language like Java, C language, C++,
Mm,
stuff like that. But it's not necessarily that you have to be good at it like a programming student or like a student that goes into computer engineering and stuff. Like they have to like ace the course and do well in it, you know?
yeah.
Because who wants to be a computer engineer and you can't even pass C language?
Well,
That's
exactly, but
it's a bit iffy if you ask me. But so they throw in a lot of like subjects that you don't really need for the future, but it's part of the curriculum, and that's my sort of negative point that I see
yeah,
in school curriculums. It's just that they shove in like random things just to
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he has to know this, but you don't really need to.
Because in CJEP, me too. Because I was doing science in CJEP and had like most of the time I would have like our maths and I have like chimie organic and all that stuff, and I
yeah.
Yeah.
would have like what I really strive for CJEP was astronomy because I really love that, like studying space and like calculating physics for me was fun, but like it was like sort of like calculating the speed of a car I couldn't care less. It was like more like I want to see how far a planet could be, or like understanding how to calculate the distance of an object that's like light years away,
Hmm.
so that was more interesting to me. So like that's why I got really turned off by science in my CJEP years, because I basically went through like the very boring parts of like chemistry and like math and like the most tedious crap like algebra and all that stuff. And I was not into it. Like it was I understood like what was interesting about it, and like I get why people would be interested, but at the same time it's like for me personally I didn't vibe with like on creating a fucking the integrals of this and that, understanding the like I couldn't fucking care, like it was like, and then calculating the vectors of shit like that like it was just like super weird, and then understanding the components of chemical bounds and shit. It's like that's why like I feel like sometimes whenever students go into like a specific field that they want to, and there are like um classes that have absolutely nothing to do or like very minimally have to do with their program, they kind of like get turned off by it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, I have something to say about that. Do you guys think there's like a disparity between like people having a passion for the subject
Mm.
and then being actually like able or wanting to study that? Does it like depurify, or does it like change your love for that thing, or does it make it more like a thing you have to do to get by, or a thing you have to?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like an obstacle to get by
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with that. I feel like if you have to take it, you don't have really a choice. You're not going to put your heart in it, right? So if you're studying something and it's part of the subject, of course you're going to put more attention to it. You're going to research more on it, and you're going to do the best of your capabilities to,
yeah,
ace the class. But if it's not something part of your curriculum, then you're not going to put much care into it. You're just going to be like, you know what? I'll pass the class, and that's it. I'll
yeah,
get
yeah.
I'll get the I'll get the credit of the class, and
The
then I'll
minimum.
move
Well,
on.
like, I'll try. I'll have fun with it. Like, that was my
Exactly.
idea of like legit. I would in chemistry I had legit like all my theory grades, hilariously enough, all my theory grades were like 30s, 40s, 50s, but all my labs were 100% because like labs for me is fucking easy. I like applying shit. Like
Yeah.
theory, like you understand the basics of it, and you just don't care anymore. Like every single little detail, like all the nomenclature and all that shit. That's like the most like that's like the biggest fucking thing for them. Like
Yeah, it's like
I
why do I have to learn how to name like
like
something? Like why? It's not even I'm not even gonna do that in the future. Like not even close. Not even like near the field that not even close. And they're shoving it in my brain like it's breakfast.
do
yeah.
you think that theory and practice classes should be completely like separate entities?
Not really, because practice is the reason why I passed the class.
I feel like labs are there just to like put whatever like theory that you've been taught in class
Yeah,
in real life. I
apply
feel
it.
like
Yeah.
that's like the whole point of labs, you know. But if chemistry is not really your thing, then fuck the theory and fuck the labs, man.
But
Why do you have to take it?
but I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the application of it, the lab should be worth more because often enough, like the labs are worth like 30% usually, and
Not
then
even. Some of them are like worth
the
like
lab,
20%.
yeah,
Some
and then
like NYB, like NYA chemistry classes
yeah,
in college. They're not worth
exactly.
much.
But the thing is, like in real life, you would apply the theory.
Mhm.
You wouldn't like when you're an engineer, you wouldn't like look at the fucking blueprint and shit and be like, yeah, this makes sense. And then when you apply it with the wrong materials, it just fucking collapses. You know?
That's what. That's why I wanted to like. That's why I was thinking like. There's a difference between a technician and an engineer.
Yeah.
The technician is really more hands-on. He's the one that's fixing stuff. He's the one that's like actually like doing oil changes on engines and stuff like
Yeah,
really like hand to hand
hands
stuff.
on, yeah.
But the engineer is the one in the background, like doing the blueprints, approving
Yeah.
projects, and like sitting in an office almost all day. You know,
Yeah.
I'd rather be the guy fixing shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather be part of the conversation where I would say, yeah, I fixed that bitch. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that plane is flying right now because of me.
I find it.
I'm the one who fixed it. You know what I'm saying? That's
But
more cool to me. You know?
what do you think about the idea of, like people hold like, you said like engineers are the ones behind the scenes, but like how do you feel about the ones being behind the scenes be held like higher than the ones applying, like doing the jobs? You know what I'm saying? Like say like technicians, like, oh, you want to be a technician, you want to be struggling doing this work, or you want to be the dude planning like it's what do you think about the sort of importance, if you will, of the job?
Um, I'll
Yeah, go ahead, Philip. Yeah.
Thanks. I'll say that I think the pay disparity isn't very cool. Like when you're the hands-on person in
Yeah.
every sector of the job market, you're paid way less
Yeah.
because it's estimated that you're doing less intelligent of a job.
Yeah.
So even though the physical labor takes its toll
And the risks are higher too.
the risks are
Yeah.
higher, it's not esteemed as being of the same value, and that's a bit disappointed. I'm disappointed by that, but respect wise, like just the I think they should equally be respected. They're like, well, in a way they're different entities, they're different things.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like, you know, making designs and stuff in the background, that seems fun and all, you know, but understanding really how it works in real life is it's such an intriguing thing to me. It's so important to know. Like, yo, could you imagine you're stranded in the middle of nowhere with your car just broken down? You don't even know how to fix it. You're stuck. You don't know, and there's no like phone reception.
I'm gonna check the
You're
blueprints real
forced-
quick.
Yeah, but you're forced to like, nah, we're not gonna check the blueprints. You'd rather be the mechanic that knows how to fix it.
Oh,
Because
exactly, yeah.
here's the thing. I'll tell you something though. You know, if you go to any mechanic, like car mechanic, and you want your car fixed, they have experience. They know what are the easiest and cheapest ways to fix your car.
Yeah.
But if you go to an engineer, he's just gonna go pick up the part and charge you full price for the OEM part. No, why would I do that where I could save a little bit of money, fix my junker
My own,
that broke down in the middle of nowhere, right? And be on my merry way.
What do you think about the right to repair, which is something being debated with like Apple products and some?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like
repair
everyone has the right to repair their own things. Absolutely, hands down. There's no, the companies that are trying to do this, they're trying to profit off of it as much as they can. That's it's very obvious.
I find it quite interesting that Apple's like it passes Microsoft in total like gross, but yet they're still long for every little fucking thing to be commercialized, like a port or like a gondole or like
Good luck finding aftermarket parts.
Yo,
for it.
it's
Good
fucking
luck.
ridiculous, man. It makes
Good luck, my friend.
And it's just
That
like,
is impossible.
like you legit, like all the accessories now, the chargers are being separated, the fucking cords are all being separated. Like, you have to buy adapters.
They're selling the phone without the charging cable.
Yo, it makes no sense. Oh, it's like
that's sold separately.
No, but I thought it's
Next thing you know, I gotta buy the Face ID like separately
yo,
too, bro.
I'm just waiting on a day where someone buys the iMac Pro and you have to buy everything that's inside separately. So you buy the case,
Yo,
you
you know
buy the
what's
cheese grater, you buy the cheese grater for 100,000.
you know what's even funnier? You know what's even funnier is like like someday, like in the near future, like 2050, you're gonna have to buy your iPhone in parts. Like, oh, bro,
Yeah,
like I can't wait. I saved up for the screen today.
I know.
Roll it up yourself.
But you know how smart they are because like every single update it charges more CPU. I think it's
hmm
and so the battery sort of gets drained more. So like the
Yeah,
old phones are basically
obsolete. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like I find it quite like smart market wise, but in terms of like they're snakes, man. They're
it's
fucking.
not
It's
ethical.
not like I don't know at all.
No ethics.
what business is nowadays, man? There's always, if you ask me, like in today's world, if you want to be realistic, bro, every single business has their like shady side. Like
Mm.
Apple, child labor. What else? Sweatshops, and
I
people are
mean,
still
yeah.
buying iPhones, bro. Like, who gives
But
like nobody gives a fuck, bro.
I feel like right now I think the biggest problem was the nurses and all that them not getting paid as much as they should be,
Mhm.
Yeah,
which and like doctors are basically getting overflown and like there's hospitals everywhere and that they're overpopulated and whatever and so like I feel like the way that we sort of value our own personal little thing over like people's lives is kind of like it's kind of fucked where
yeah.
it's like all objects matter but like people they'll make it. It's kind of like
Right. That's another, out of sight, out of mind. I don't see those people suffering, so it doesn't affect me.
oh my god, it makes no. I was looking at it, I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like it's like not I like how like now we don't really have a big solution because everything's basically commercialized, and so everyone's like even if you support small businesses, for example, well ultimately although small businesses will become big businesses and they'll end up being corporations, so it kind of just recycles the same bullshit. And so I feel like it's sort of like um an endless loop of just nonsense. It just makes no sense, but like it's
Yeah.
hard. Like even the like as we're talking about previously on our I think the first few episodes of the podcast, how like school basically tries to force you to become a worker and fuel the
Yeah.
industry market.
Yeah.
And so ultimately that's why entrepreneurs are sort of regarded as taboo or like as shit or like nothing because oh you don't have a degree, oh well you're nothing, and then because they ultimately get pushed down by society. Not many of them sort of strive to become successful business, and if they do become successful businesses they end up following the same trend as like multi billion-dollar conglomerates and
I
shit.
mean, if the whole thing, like you have to get an education to be successful in life that's passed down from generation to generation.
Well,
It's
exactly.
a big misconception. You can always make a living without necessarily having a degree.
Mm,
It's just that it's the safe route
mm,
and it's the smartest route to do it, if you ask me.
mm.
It's a cushion, it's like, for example, you have like a side business but you
Yeah.
have a degree in psychology, for example. You can always like use your psychology degree as a cushion
I
when
like how
like
everyone
your
goes to
business is
psychology.
bad or whatever. You can use it as a side job. Like,
Everyone goes to psychology. I find it hilarious.
hey, it's the go-to example.
No. But I mean, like every single person, whenever you ask them what they're doing, they're going to psychology or becoming psychologists, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, is this like a new trend?
I mean, psychology is really open to interpretation. It's very like objective.
Yeah. You're saying
I
something?
have
So
I have a theory on this. Maybe it's because of how the dominance of the internet causes us to have many parasocial relationships, like
Mm,
fake relationships with people, the people we see on the screen, right?
mm,
So we tend to think more about like our what is the value of our relationships with other people, and
mm.
thus we probably are more interested in the psyche and learning psychology, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's the easiest route. Right? I think it's just very fucking easy, and it's cheap too. It doesn't
Really?
require any like big books that are
did you say cheap?
encyclopedias. Well, compared to fucking science, yeah.
Say cheap? Hey man, uni bills is hefty and heavy.
No, no, I'm talking about like the books. I mean, uni tuition is everyone's
Yeah,
tuition.
of course, of course.
Yeah.
But in terms
Yeah,
of like, if you compare like an engineer that has like buy tools and shit and all that stuff
yeah,
compared
of course.
to
Yeah.
which I have a question for you guys, because there was a big scandal that happened a few years ago with Lori Loughlin
Yeah.
and Felicity Hoffman there with because they were if you don't know, they're sort of like actors. They're both actors, and their kids are they were bought into school, and so basically
Right.
they didn't pass an exam, and so their parents basically bought their way into the universities. And so I have a question. Well, both of you, what do you guys think about the idea of maybe like there's some people that are in your class and knowing that they're not like adequate enough to be in your class, but they're bought into the system. What do you think about
I
that?
mean, it's cheating, no? It's the same thing. It's it falls under the same category as plagiarism. It's just that it's
Well,
in a different form. It comes as a buyout.
but
it's
yeah, but
it's the
understanding the
same thing.
I think that kind of thing is a result of the learning institutions actually being a business.
yeah.
The US is the best example of this,
Mm.
where tuition costs so much, and the whole point is just make a buck. It's like the whole existence of Ivy Leagues, in
Yeah,
my opinion, is an aberration.
it is.
And the sole purpose is to create kind of a system for people of higher societies to stay amongst each other.
Yeah,
And
keep
it
it pure.
yeah, it's almost fascist, in fact. And it's kind of like a way to just keep making a buck while still, like, they serve you education.
Yeah, but it's not
But
adequate.
like, for example, the right now we're I'm dating this episode, but we're during COVID right now,
Yeah.
and we have people in the US that are paying their full tuitions even though it's online.
Mm.
And okay, here as well, but here we have like a tremendous aid from the government with
Mm.
paying that tuition, right?
Yeah.
Over there, they still have that full tuition that
Yeah.
will take their entire lives to pay for the most part. And
That's why a lot of people in like medical school, for example, they spend their entire lives paying back the debt that they've
yeah,
gotten. And so like when you say all doctors rich, but it's like nah, they're not rich at all. If anything, they're broke because they have like mad debt to the bank because of their tuition fees and their loans and all that stuff. So I feel like
All their paychecks go into the bank anyway.
basically,
Taking they're taking like 80% of their money and to pay their debt.
yeah. And so I feel like having this sort of I know like for us for our program, there was a couple of students I met in the first semester that were from Canada, but they were elsewhere from Toronto or like Vancouver or whatever. And
Mhm.
their tuition basically, because us we pay like I think like 4,000 for us. I think Phil,
yeah,
around that,
yes.
and then have people from like Dubai paying like 7,000, and you have other people from like Toronto paying like 10,000. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck's going on?
it's
It's like,
intense.
and then
Isn't it usually more expensive for foreigners?
exactly. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking. I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the why? Like I feel like Quebec was like, nah, bro, y'all trash, bro. You rest of Canada, I'm charging you more because I don't like you.
I mean, Quebec's been like this for a while, man.
I want to be sovereign. I want to be
I
sovereign.
mean, Quebec's been trying to separate itself from Canada. It's trying to separate itself from Trudeau. They don't like Trudeau at all.
Hey,
They don't like the Liberal Party at all, man.
hey,
Like
No,
they
they
hate
do
it.
not.
They hate it. Like even like the Prime Minister of Quebec, bro. Like he's just like he's so done with Trudeau, man. He's like, yeah, man.
I
He's
mean,
putting all the
fair, but at the same time, it's kind of you don't have a better solution, so it doesn't change anything, does it?
Pretty funny.
yeah. It's
Um,
pretty funny, man. We're like the west side of French.
so
Like
let's
France,
be
if
fair.
France had a ghetto like spot, it'd be
Yeah,
Quebec.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly it. It's where they toss up all the fucking the randos, the weirdos,
The ones that don't talk like we only Francois.
and they made it a colony,
Yeah,
Yes, and then they gave up on the
and they
call.
gave up on it. They were like,
They,
fuck
they
they
it.
went
just left it.
they went from wee wee to wine.
So You know what's funny? Like, would you imagine, like in history, like you know how if it was France and then England that sort of colonized, it was like the French king was just like, oh, yeah, I can't be bothered anymore. Like,
He's so done with him.
I-
Send him on a boat. Send him on a boat.
Oh, Canada? Not even. It was like New France back then.
yeah,
he was
New
like,
France.
La
Yeah.
Nouvelle France. Oh yeah, I remember that. They were saying.
Yeah, he was like, oh, Nouvelle France. No, no, no. I don't even remember them.
I don't remember this. It's just like, what the fuck? But
Yo,
yeah.
We
send
love-
send them Le Fille de Roi to keep him occupied.
That's part of our history.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That wasn't rape. That wasn't rape.
Yo, our history may not have been.
It's so tinted, man. Like
it may not have been as big as US, but it's as fucked as it is.
Oh,
messed up. Like yo, they're. By the way, like if you take a look at the history books that we used to study back in the day in high school, man, it's so dumbed down. Like
it is.
they like 90% of the atrocities that happened to the natives and like what they did to them was not written in the books. Like
Right,
they only talk about like le troc and how we gave them beaver fur. And
it's from a colonizer's point of view, so obviously they're not gonna say
Yeah.
that shit.
we talk about like arriving to this land
Yeah.
as if we were starting a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was like,
exactly. We're here to discover shit. We're discoverers.
we met
We're
these
going
nice
through the
folk.
towns and like we're just walking by. We trade some stuff. We get some new things. We just go to the next.
Nah, bro.
cool.
The men were killed or slaughtered, and the women were
Hey,
raped.
if
That's the fact, and that's what happened.
Hey,
Bro.
if you think about it, it was stupid though, because what is it? The natives took 2 L's, right? So they took one from France and then they took one from England, but they
Shit, man.
you
that's
could have
fucked
teamed up. It's fucked up to say, but
It's fucked.
they should have. Yo, like England fucked France up. So if anything, they should have teamed up with France and go.
But they
"Hey, yo,
did.
Let's kick
They
these guys
did.
out, bro. Let's kick these
They
guys
did.
out."
They sort of like they took the first L from France, and then they teamed up with France. Like they teamed up with the people that took an L from to take
Yeah.
another L from England.
Yeah.
So they both took an L together.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Um,
we teamed up to lose together.
Fucking hell, man. I feel like England was like, yeah, bro, you guys not a different league. It's just fucked. Like,
Yeah,
and I feel like that's why when they're talking about systemic racism, I agree completely in terms of like how even education is geared towards one specific point of view. So
Yeah.
it's not like actually revealing how like all the misery that was caused by the colonies and all that stuff. It's more sort of like, oh look, we went to explore.
Yeah, we went to do like
explorers.
expand our commerce. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We saw a beautiful mountain. We claimed it. Too.
it's not like we're not warmongers. We're explorers.
We're explorers.
like they don't mention the gallons of blood spilled and the villages that were burned to the ground. They don't mention that.
Slaves who? Slaves
Who?
what?
What? We were businessmen.
we
And they-
gave them alcohol.
like yo, like I swear, like if you read those books, bro, I swear they make it sound like they showed up in suits and ties.
Yo, my god.
Ah, bro, these motherfuckers showed up with weapons and guns, bro, and gunpowder and a lot of.
Oh my, but yeah, the way that they went about it, it's so like I feel it's like it was like I imagine like the natives just chilling about like minding their own business. A bunch of
I can't picture that. I'm gonna fucking laugh and I'm gonna be labeled as an asshole. Don't do that to me, Darryl.
a bunch of fucking boats come out of absolutely nowhere and just be like, "Yep, this is our land now." It's
Oh,
like
it's fucked up.
what the
I hate you, Darryl, for making me laugh at this right now.
no, but and then after they got colonized by the first dude, then another group came and they were like, "Hey, you know what? This is our land now."
This is our land now. Nous allons appeler Nouvelle-Angleterre.
I was like, "What the
When the second one showed up, they must have been like, "You serious,
fuck?"
Again.
bro?"
I was thinking, at the end of Game of Thrones, Arya goes to the west. I was like, yeah, she's the colonizer that goes to colonize.
She's going to
She's
Westeros.
she's Columbus with an E at the end.
Yeah, because she's technically from England, because the island is kind of like England there.
Speak
It was
Columbus.
based off- it was based off. So it's she pulled up on the French and just fucking took over.
Oh, man.
I find it kind of fucked up though. It's like, well, it is fucked up, and not even now, like we don't. like now we have more awareness of it, but we don't really change anything. We
Yeah.
like most of the government just like sort of like, oh yeah, look, we're giving them reserves.
Right. We talk
Yeah,
about
thanks.
how we're aware, but we don't like materially do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
when they take 90% of the land and they give us 10%, we gave them the reserves.
Ooh,
But
it's so nice.
I hate
Yeah,
that I hate that like the Canadian government speak like it's fair. It's not. Like it's
Yeah.
whatever you do from that point on will never be as equal that as they had before.
Yeah.
You know, it will never match up to what they had before. They had like open space. They could go like hunt. They could go hunt for their food. They had land. They could go like build their like agriculture. They have like lands to spread their stuff. You know, after they've burnt their villages to the ground and slaughtered their people, they just show up and say, "Oh, we gave you a little bit." You know,
Yeah, but
fuck out of
You're
here.
welcome. You know, like they
Like
show
you
up.
yeah.
You're welcome.
like the Canadian government is like is expecting a thank you.
I didn't get my
like
thank
them
you.
patting
Fuck outta
themselves
here,
on the
man.
back. You're welcome.
If you think about it, though, the animals took 14 L's then because they're done now. They're like we're mass producing these motherfuckers.
Bro, every time I used to read those books, man, I was like, yo, shit, man, those beavers, bro. Those beavers took like 16 L's, bro.
No.
If anything,
Beavers.
I feel sorry for
God,
them. They were
man.
building the dams and shit, and then they were like, "No, you know what? We need this fucking waterfall." They
nah, I need your
blasted
fur. I need your fur.
I have
Oh
a
my God.
suspicion that animals that are put on our cents and our dollars
Yeah,
are the ones that we slaughter the most per
Yeah.
territory.
Oh
pretty sure.
shit.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
Yo, kind of think I got a fucking coin in front of me.
I mean,
Nah,
I
feel bad,
think,
shit.
and the ones who are in the lowest amount are the ones that we slaughter the most.
Oh,
So
man.
like the deer and like the was it the duck?
Yeah.
Like those
Mhm.
guys we massacre on like fucking millions of
And as a sport too, man. That's the
Polar
worst
bear.
part. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah.
Like
You know-
I don't understand like people that kill for sport. I don't understand. Like I
Yeah.
feel like if I like the natural way, right? If you want to kill an animal, you have to like you have to respect the animal that you killed by using whatever like components that you get from the animal, like the meat, the bones, and stuff like that. You use them. You can use them in real life. But it's just that people don't do that. They just
But-
kill an animal and leave them to rot.
And I also feel like they shouldn't like they should say you kill a couple of pheasants, we should wait for a while before pheasants come back and not like just completely slaughter the whole fucking lot of them.
Yeah.
No, you leave them to reproduce. You know, it's just to keep the population at a steady pace, not
That's the
slaughter
easy-
90% and wait for the animal to be on like the list of extinct.
Yeah, you got to protect their ecosystem because the fact is, eliminating all of those guys, like Darryl said, in one fell swoop affects other animals
Yeah,
in the
no.
vicinity.
It's the
too.
whole like food chain that gets messed up because of it.
Yeah.
And then all new kinds of creatures start coming in.
Yeah, popping up where they shouldn't be, and
Like
like
killer bees out of nowhere, like get out of here.
The hornets, yeah, the green hornet.
Yo, remember when that was like a thing? I don't
Yeah.
remember when was it. Like it was just this killer
2020.
bee that just showed up. Yeah,
2020, but the plot ended. I don't know what happened. Like the writers.
yeah. What
gave up on it.
happened? I heard about it, but I was like, what's the continuation? What happened after that?
with the denouement,
Yeah,
like, what
the writers gave up. They were like, you know what, this.
You know what?
they cut that plot. They weren't interested in it anymore.
Yo, would you imagine if our world is actually like a plot line where someone's writing and it's like,
I
you know
am certain of it.
what? At this point it makes sense. It makes sense because like the coincidences.
It would make sense.
The coincidences cannot be like this fucking real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, of course. Because the second page is like Simpsons
no,
predicting everything.
Definitely. 2020 was definitely like the moment in time where stuff happens in the plot, you know? Like
yeah. I feel like this is part 2. Like this is like the end game.
oh yeah, this is the epilogue of what's been going on. I think we're
Yeah, I think you know when you said that the world's gonna end in 2012, it was like nah, it's 2020. It was the wrong.
Because they mixed up the numbers.
The
when they
number, it's
wrote it.
2021. 2021. We gotta switch that up real quick.
The Aztec people are the ones that predicted that the end of the world was going to be on 2012. They
Yeah.
made a movie about it. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
I watched the movie. It's pretty good, by the way. You should see it.
To
You
be
guys
fair-
watched it?
Yeah.
it's
2012.
yeah, I remember watching it.
To be fair, I'd rather the world end that way than the way it is going on right now because that way is one.
That's terrifying. What are you talking about,
But yeah,
bro?
but it goes in the span of a day. Like right now, we're getting fucking slammed.
What do you mean California sank in the water?
Yo, fuck those TikTokers. Jake Paul and them could all fall through the fucking.
That was like, where the
Darryl
fuck is
taking a
LA?
shot.
California? Sink the bitch.
Hey yo, Phil's going after Jordan Peterson. I'm going after the rest of TikTok.
Yo, shit.
Right before the rapture, before everyone dies, Darryl's gonna head straight to California to end them himself. I'm gonna head straight to Dr. Peterson's address.
Dude, you're gonna shoot him in the face.
Yo.
Phil's gonna show up with a handgun. He's gonna shoot Peter in the face.
I'm pro gun now. Jesus,
It's like Taxi Driver, but it's me driving up to Jordan.
But,
you thought I was your cab. I'm your end.
Josh, Fast and Furious 7 when Dom like fucking drop kicks the floor in and the whole thing falls off.
Oh, that was some bullshit.
I'm gonna go to the edge of California and fucking kick down the floor. The whole thing.
That's how you want to go, bro? Seriously, Darryl?
I'm gonna end them that way.
You're the one that, oh shit, so you're gonna go be like, yo, I'm the one that tipped California to the sea.
Exactly.
I pushed it. I gave him the little push. Oh, that's funny, man.
But funny thing happened. Well, yeah, this is a story I wanted to tell you guys. So basically, I got the police came to my house like on Wednesday, and they started knocking. They started doorbelling and knocking really loudly. I was like,
what the fuck?
Like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, right? And so my mom was looking through the peephole. She's like, "What the fuck? There's two guys there. What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I think that's police." And then she's like, "Oh shit, the fuck you do now?" So she opens the door, and then the police come in, and then he told me that I got frauded. Someone took my identity and bought something on Saint Laurent at on J Sonic, whatever. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like, I have all my cars with me, and there's nothing missing. And so like I got a police report, and I called ABC and all that stuff, and I settled it. And I look at my bank account balance, $3,150 fucking dollars gone. The motherfucker bought a bunch of TVs and shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow, that's a professional.
Yeah,
bro.
He maxed out my credit card real good. I was like,
that is professional thievery.
Damn, man. Yo, it depends where you went, bro. If somebody, because the thing, was your card with like the tap technology thing?
I have everything. This thing, I have everything. I have my cars. Everything is with me right now. It's just that he took my information. I don't know how he found it.
No, you can take the information of the car without having the physical card. I'm asking, like, do you have like the tap?
Yeah, I have the tap.
I think it's possible that the guy used the machine that could take the numbers of the card by scanning the chip like you're doing at a tap. Because when you're paying for something with a card, the chip sends the numbers to the machine, checks your account, see that you have the available funds, and then subtract the funds and makes the payment. But with the machine, it's so quick. It takes like, what, 1 or 2 seconds to do that? But with the machine, it's the same concept. They just get close to you in a very public area, and they just like go around and they tap people's pockets with the machine. And that's why I have this. I want to show you something.
Oh, yeah, anti-fraud.
Look, there's this card slip, right? That you can put your card inside, and it blocks all like the signals between whatever machine. So you can put your card like this, and then you just
put it inside,
like that.
So but
can you blur that?
Oh, Jay, blur that.
Thanks, you.
I had but the thing is, like, I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I was so confused. Like, the police pulled up my house like late at night. And it was fucking weird. So I'm like, yo, I'm getting arrested. And I was eating. I was in the middle of eating. So I was eating, and then he passed me his phone. I'm like, oh shit. And I started talking to his call center there. I was like, yeah, hello, what's going on? I was like, yeah, you've been frauded, and they found your name and all your information, your address, and all that shit. I'm like, yo, damn,
holy shit.
Like, and then
next level shit.
And he maxed out my credit card. I'm like, yo, shit. So I called up, I called my bank, and then we sold it, and I don't have to pay the sum there. I was like, yo, that's so crazy, because it's like Saint Laurent. I haven't been to like Henri Bourassa in like fucking years, man. Like, so I'm like, yo, I don't know. He bought it from J Sonic. He bought some shit from J Sonic, like fucking TVs and shit. He bought a bunch of like, he had a nice payday, but apparently it didn't go through. Or he got caught. I don't know what happened, but it was quite interesting. But it was funny how my mom was like, yo, what the fuck did you do now?
she was like, oh man, you got the shit again.
I have such a mug face that it just looks like I've done something wrong instantaneously. I've been out in like 2 weeks because I was in quarantine, and in 2 weeks again because I haven't done it. Like, I didn't go to work. All school was online, so I'm like, yo, what the fuck? How did this happen?
Hey, yo, Darryl, do your mugshot face real quick.
Yeah. Give us.
Hey yo,
If I saw that, I'd laugh till next week.
no, you know,
I
you
do
know
you,
what's funny?
Philip. We gotta do it. Come on, Philip. Do your mugshot face. Come on.
Me? Okay.
Yeah. So you're posing from. You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty.
Yo, I don't know. I feel uneasy. I feel uneasy with Phil with long hair. Kind of looks like one of those hippies there that have like.
Ooh.
Oh man, if you let your hair down and take a mugshot, I swear God, the judge will have no mercy on you.
Yo, you look like one of them
Maximum
hippies that have,
sentence.
Like, you look like one of them hippies that sell like hard drugs on the side.
Like the guy would have crack in his hair bun.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you're looking for
Have
something.
some crack
You're
in
looking
there?
for something.
Hey, you want some?
It's fucking weird, man. It's so uneasy. Like whenever I see him, I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
or some guy who's going around parks and like talking to kids and shit. That's kind of.
Oh.
Darryl looks like I would get a shank from the guy.
Yeah, exactly. I look like a cholo. I look like a cholo.
Yo, like you look like you make a mean ass shank.
Thank you in prison with a toenail.
For some reason, every single person, whenever I'm walking down the street,
It's a big ass toenail, bro.
No, but whenever,
How big is your toe, man?
I don't know why. Everyone like every single time I'm walking down the street, someone always asks me, "Do you have weed?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't. Do I look like a fucking seller?" I'm like, "What?" Like it happened like 3 times in Concordia. It happened like 20 times around here. It's like, what the fuck?
When I have to say this, when I had short hair, I've never been asked this. When I got long hair,
Yeah, because you look like a fucking hippie.
I mean, for God's sake, you pulled out your guitar as soon as I mentioned it.
yeah,
You look like you work at Steve's.
I work in Steve's.
You look like you know a lot about Harley Davidsons.
See you on the flip side, kid.
Yeah, I don't fuck with the Hells Angels, bro.
Remember, one of our teachers' sister was part of the Hells Angels. Mr. Cayuet was.
Oh shit! Yeah, he said that.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny though, because with this teacher, we always had like tangents, had nothing to do with nothing. So we're like, he was talking about grammar, and he's like, one of my classmates like asked me, like, "Yo, what happened to your sister?" And he's like, my sister died of an overdose because she was part of the Hells Angels. Everyone was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And he went off. He was like, "Yeah, like a few years ago, I used to hang out with them and like."
That was the class.
Yeah, the
That was the class. His sister's like affiliation with Hells Angels.
And the
What is
guy
up with Quebecers affiliated with the Hells Angels group? Aren't they like American?
It's mostly a Quebec-based thing.
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought it was like a U.S. thing. Like
No, it's like the Quebec mafia, I'd say.
the Hells Angels is a Quebec origin gang.
Yeah, I think it is origin for here. Yeah.
No fucking way. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a here thing.
That-
I don't know.
that's-
Shit.
I think was it Sons of Anarchy have an episode about it or something, or like because it has like a tie or not Sons of Anarchy, some another fucking TV show had to do with Montreal gangs and shit. But
Right.
yeah, it was like sort of
Damn.
it was a
man.
weird tangent where we're in the middle of a class and like how the guy just goes up on it and he vapes in class. So I'm like, okay, so
Yo, and they were THC caps, man.
real,
they weren't
real.
e-cigs, bro. That shit was THC capsules, fully loaded, bro.
well, yeah, what are your opinions on weed? Like the whole legalization of, well, I mean, that's past due, but like the effects of weed. What do you think about it? Because supposedly it doesn't have as bad effects as alcohol, for example, and all that stuff.
Right.
Like, so
Well, first of all, do any of us use it? I do.
you smoke? No,
Yeah.
I haven't smoked in a while.
How about you, Phil? No? You don't
No, he
step
sells,
in that
he
other
sells.
realm? No?
No, he sells.
You saw? Yeah. Can I get an ounce?
but they might be laced with something else.
I'll get something from my hair,
Phil walks into like the hoodiest neighborhood. Is like, hey, yo, bro, you have some? You have some?
I'd want to try to play a drug dealer
Yeah, you could.
like
Yeah, you,
in a short or
it'd be
something.
a very big contrast to what you really are in real life. You're like completely like not relatable at all.
If if somebody like would just meet you and like they didn't get the chance to know you yet, I would 100% guarantee you that they're gonna see you as the plug, man.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Like I got
That's
asked.
hilarious.
I got asked.
I use like I consider myself as a regular user.
Do you
Mm.
smoke or you eat?
No, I smoke.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do the
What do your
it
parents?
fucks me up.
Do your parents know about it?
Um, they found out eventually,
Well,
but I told them that I don't do it anymore.
oh, of course.
Yeah, so
Hey,
but
I didn't figure out.
you know the drill. Daryl knows, man, since the early days.
Yeah, no. I think the first time I smoked was in high school. Yeah, I was in high school.
Wasn't that the after party stuff you did?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was the first time I smoked, and then and like a bunch of people like were high as fuck too. So
But I feel like I'm getting like mixed reviews about like the whole thing. Like, did you have a good time, or did you find it like you tripped a lot, or what how'd you feel about it?
for what, weed or the after party?
Yeah, like
Weed.
yeah.
For me, it doesn't do anything for me.
What you mean?
Like edibles, like make me sort of like woozy a bit, but it doesn't like make me hungry. It doesn't make me. Yeah, I don't get munchies. I don't like. I'm not like.
So you're telling, oh man, you must have smoked some wank shit, bro. Like
No, I
the
ate.
real stuff, the real stuff.
I ate.
Oh, okay,
But when I smoke, I don't feel anything. Like I when I smoke, it doesn't change anything for me.
we
I
should
do
meet up
that
soon.
very often.
Like
We should meet up soon, man.
yeah,
I'll show you how we do it, man.
because I had a friend at a party I once, and he was rolling he was rolling a joint in the hotel, and like police came in front because it was like in downtown there. He fucking freaked out. He was like, oh my God, police is here. And so I was like, oh no, bro, there's some shit going on over there. I was like, oh fuck, he shut himself, bro.
Was
But
it was it a time where it was still illegal?
yeah, it was
Ah,
before I
okay.
got legalized.
Okay.
So yeah, I think all my
Um,
funny enough, like I consume shit that's whenever it's not legal. Like I was drinking before I became legal. It makes no sense. And then after I stopped drinking.
it's because you learn from it. I think that's
Yeah.
also why there are more drunk accidents in the U.S. because the legal age is higher, so they
Yeah.
start supposedly later.
Mm.
So
You
they're
just
more.
fuck, yeah, I just yeah.
Well, obviously, you just use it. You just try it as to get the experience, and if you like it, you could enjoy
Right.
the experience safely. I mean, nobody's asking you to do it while you're driving, for example. You know, that's just stupid. You
But
do it just to like relax and stuff. You
I
know, have
feel
a good
like
time.
I feel that the problem is a lot of people nowadays have this sort of like, especially young kids, they have this sort of they have this expectation that it's gonna be fucking crazy because a lot of people talk about it, drugs and like lean and shit. Like I know a lot of people like in the first year of college or so university, they're like 18. I'm already like 20 when I came in, so I was like, I already went through all that shit, right? So like they just first went to their first clubs and they went, started getting Molly and some bitches getting heroin and shit.
That's
And
next level stuff, man.
just tripping
That's
balls.
that's too much, man.
But like they're drinking a bunch of stuff. I'm like, yo, bro, like I wanted to see what it tastes like. I want to see what it feels like. I'm like, yo, you would want to take the risk. I mean, granted, you want to take the experience, right? Because you don't want to seem like a complete loser. But at the same time,
But
you should understand the risk.
but it's calculated risks. There's a difference between
Exactly.
taking dumbass risks and taking calculated risks. For example, like if like you can't die, bro, from smoking a little bit of J, bro. You can't die from that. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like
there's never been a single death.
there hasn't been. There
Well,
hasn't been a single
that's the
one.
common that's the common argument is when there's no deaths, there's no fatalities, but at the same time, it's more of a long term.
Well, there are studies that, and not like tons, but
Yeah.
some of them that report that if you take too much of it, yeah, before your brain is fully developed, then
Mhm.
Yeah,
it may slow down your neural.
your cognitive
But
function. Yeah.
Here's my question to you, because some people say like the brain develops at some age and some people develop at some other age. Like how do you know? Like I'm actually like I want to know like what's the age where like your brain is fully developed, because I'm getting like mixed answers about that on that.
most people in psychology tend to say that it's by 25, it's 100% certain that your brain is done
Mhm.
developing.
Mm.
Like its elasticity and like its easy learning phase is
Mm.
done,
Mhm.
and so your everything after that is like you're a fully formed human in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right
Um,
now, we're kind of fucked up right now, so it makes sense. It's fine. We could blame it on that. We're
right,
retarded.
we're still young.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be responsible,
Hey,
man.
hey, you know what's? Because I was just hanging out with Jason before this. I was because I'm like 22, right? But I feel like I'm like 75 because like I don't feel the urge of like partying anymore or like
Oh no, I've never
like
been a partier.
like my back's killing me, my fucking foot's killing me and shit. I got like I'm running and shit, like my legs killing me. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm like, I'm healthy. I'm eating. I don't eat dog shit. I don't smoke. I don't drink. And then yet my body feels like it's been hit by a truck every fucking other week.
Oh,
It's like,
Nah,
um,
it's just because of like these past few days we haven't been as active as much, because of pandemic. Like, don't be too hard on yourself, bro. Like, we're all experiencing that stuff. Like,
no, but
even
like,
me.
but even my interest, like right now, like I feel like watching. I watched Downton Abbey and I fucking enjoyed it. That's not normal. I'm 22. I watched Downton Abbey and I fucking enjoyed it. What's
my
going on?
mom loves that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Dude,
what I'm
that's
fucking
something like
saying.
I'd consider that in my 30s, but I
No, that's
wouldn't.
like 60s, like 40, 50s, 60s. That's like middle
Holy
age shit, bro.
shit.
I was watching Downton
Um,
Abbey. I was like, yo, this is quite interesting.
I kind of think of it. I kind of see some gray hair there. You're getting old,
Bro,
motherfucker.
I did it. Yo, it's funny. I did have gray hair once. I had like a few, and
really?
so I pull it out. My mom was like, "No, that's not gray hair." So I pull it out and I showed it to her. I was like, "Oh shit, you're getting old now."
I
I'm
have
like,
ginger, bro.
I'm like,
Out
yo,
of nowhere, it just showed up on my
yeah,
beard.
same as well. I'm like, because all the
Um,
stress you give me.
Bro, Collège Français was the biggest stress of all, man. Like, they stressed us for no reason, bro. Honestly, like, yo, teachers thought it was like military school, but it wasn't. And they treated us like military schools. Like, yeah, could you remember the time like you used to like we used to stand outside till the bell rings, and then like one at a time, like we're fucking soldiers.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
inside. How stupid was that? Like, I get like organization and stuff, but come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I scratched my head and I got like put to the wall, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I scratched my head and you're out of line.
Yeah.
Go 10 minutes on the wall. I'm like,
it's a very it sounds like a very superficial manner of teaching discipline.
But it was more for the aesthetic of its private school because of their reputation, right? And
Right, right, right.
so that's why
yeah.
people
I
people
mean,
who were outside of school thought of the school as a high stature school, but people inside were like, yo, this.
let's just say that whatever the efforts that we're trying to do to like boost like their ratings or whatever compared to the other high schools, it never worked. They're still like one of the worst rated fucking private schools in the on the fucking island.
Yeah.
So
You want to say something, Phil?
Well, I was gonna mention something about how the schools have a tendency also to project this our students are perfectly like organized to attract customers really,
Mm.
and like some schools have more of a specialization, right? Like
Mhm.
some like Seychelles even more. For example, like Saint Laurent has like a reputation of its own that makes it stand out from other.
Yeah,
Like all the schools have their thing kind of.
yeah,
So I feel like that's a bit more fair than the reputations of most like high schools or
yeah.
primary schools where it's just a binary of are they organized or not for their future.
And it's private, private or
Yeah.
public schools, and I feel like it's so like superficial. A lot of people like think entering as a private school will make your son a lot smarter, or just it makes you like it doesn't
uh,
make any sense because it's ultimately, if anything, you're making it worse because you're paying money for the same exact education. So
pretty much.
ultimately, you're feeding the government. Well, no, you're feeding the private institution money for them to teach you the same shit that you will learn in a public institution.
Yeah, that's very, yeah.
So ultimately, you're skipping on a free, which I have a yeah. So it returns to a question I wanted to ask you guys. Did you guys regret any what was it parcours that you guys went through in terms of education?
Huh.
Like if you were to restart, if you
Oh
can,
man.
education, would you change anything in terms of your orientation of where you went through in life? So if you want to start art sooner, if you want to change schools or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I regret taking pure and applied science straight out of high school. I should have just went in a 3 year program and got a technical school, and
Mm,
I would have been working with like an airplane company by now,
mm, yeah.
and making like decent money. But
Mm,
I just I felt like I could have reached more, but to my to my understanding, I misjudged my interests. Like I didn't take my interest into heart. I just went for the title. It's a big mistake. Like I'd rather sacrifice the title for something that I'd like to do in the future, you know? Like I don't give a fuck about titles. Titles are titles. But you doing the practice that you love and you have a passion for, I feel like it's a better investment. And I should have done that from the start.
Yeah.
That's wise.
How about you, Flo?
Yeah, I think one thing I will say that I would not change ever is where I went to high school, Collège de Montréal. That was a great place to learn and have my eyes opened about the world, and like I found it was a great place to go for high school.
For CJEP though.
For Cégep, I do have things that I would change.
Where'd you go to CJEP again?
Brébeuf,
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, Brebeuf.
What you would
yeah,
change?
Isn't it private?
Yeah,
it is.
It's a
So
business CJEP, no?
Um,
It's we talk about like specializing like colleges and stuff like special. I think it
I
was
think
business.
sciences are usually
science is the thing, yeah.
Really?
the thing for that Cégep. But the thing is, I didn't start out. I did my whole first year not in arts, thinking, oh, I just want to like use school to learn things about like society, about the world. I want to like deepen my knowledge.
Yeah.
And not associate that to my career choice, which I knew I wanted to write stories and I wanted to make art, right? So I saw those as different things. And in a way, I did get stuff out of that.
Yeah.
Like spending a year, I learned a lot about politics, which informed my opinion till this day, which has changed me as a person, which has like I love a lot of the stuff like psychology, anthropology that we were studying.
Yeah.
Criminology I was really a fan of.
Yeah. Yeah, you go. I mean, your was it your grandpa that was or your uncle was it that was
Yeah,
a lawyer?
yeah, he was, yeah. And he's the one who actually told me at some point, because my parents thought that maybe I should be a lawyer too. They said
Don't
I'd
be
be
a
good
lawyer.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, "Don't do it. It's soul crushing." So he helped me in that sense. He gave me a
I mean, yeah, it's good advice.
right. It is. So I knew I wasn't gonna do that, even though I seem to have a knack for it, but I don't know if I would have been happy. So yeah, after a year, I realized I should just be studying this. So I went into theater, and then I went into film in Concordia.
Well, theater you went in Brebeuf, right? Is
Yep,
that it?
I stayed. I did the whole thing in
Is it 2 years or 3 years?
2 years and a half.
Okay.
I completed my theater thing.
Yeah.
And that I loved. That was a great choice. That was very interesting. Lots of practical application of what I learned there.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Good for you. You actually landed on something that you found very much interesting to you.
Yeah,
And some people are not as much as
they're not lucky enough.
fortunate. Yeah, so some people spend years trying to figure
Yeah.
out like what they want to do,
which
and
is
that's
understandable. You know,
yeah, of course.
people being like lost or not knowing is like completely valid, completely like a normal thing about like learning about what you want to be doing, right?
I think that's where the stress goes into because like basically you have your entire school years, including university, if you're taking that to figure out what you want to do.
Right.
Ultimately, the hardest part is what comes after. So once you're out of the institution, most people they freak out because they hope like there's a firm or say a business company that will hire them before your school ends or term ends. But like say for acting, for example, for drama school or for other that's a lot harder because you have to seek out the world.
Nothing's waiting for you. You have to go out. What
You
about
gotta
you?
go out there.
For me, for me it's the same thing. I feel like in high school, the thing is because like I in high school we did drama, right? So it was we did Shakespeare, we did Hamlet, we did Macbeth, and I enjoyed them. It's just that because I was in a class that was sort of focused on that aspect, I didn't really take it seriously either. And then CJ, because our what is it our our advisor basically told us you should go to Pure and Apply because it'll open more doors. And that's basically why I think majority of us went to Pure and Apply. It was just sort of like it was better for us in long term. So we kind of sacrificed our short term uh, strives to sort of like attain this sort of bigger gate that will hopefully give us more opportunities later on. But in the end, you just realize, nah, it doesn't really give you anything. If anything, you're just wasting time. So
It makes the process more tedious for no reason
Right.
exactly. So I feel
instead of
like
getting straight to the point.
yeah, I would have probably um the only problem is because there weren't many schools that were sort of advocating for acting and like
Right.
directing and all that. So it was a lot harder in terms of like drama. You had to go to a whole different institution,
Mhm.
say like La Sala or whatever. But I think I don't know. I don't really regret where I went because ultimately I like Phil's. He learned a lot of stuff during his parcours. Same thing for me, and I also met a lot of people that sort of taught me good lessons. So I don't hate on that. But at the same time, I guess if Montreal had more opportunities in the arts section, it would have been a good way to go about it. And university was kind of like, oh fuck it, I'll just go Concordia. In it, it's the closest one.
Yeah. It's a bit soul crushing sometimes when you feel like you've spent the years trying to look for something that you're interested in,
Yeah.
and you spent the money, the time, and at the end of the day you haven't found anything. It's a bit discouraging, but what
Yeah.
I could say about that is not everyone is going to find their path on the first try,
Mm,
but it's always good to stay consistent in the search.
yeah.
Like, I feel like people give up too easily
Mm,
on like school and stuff. Like, oh man, I spent like 2 3 years and I haven't found anything yet. Fuck school. I tend to say to those people to stay a little bit more patient. I know it's hard because I feel like, hey, I'm saying like this as my personal experience. I feel like I wasted 3 years on pure and applied. Like, I feel like I
yeah.
wasted 3 years plus 2 more years in university
Mm,
that I could have easily like done a technical
yeah.
program
Yeah.
and still be in the same field that I like and do exactly what I want to do. But it's never too late to backtrack a little bit
Mm,
and to pick something that you actually like. So to those people that feel a little bit discouraged, don't be. It's normal. It's a process. Life is, and it's always good to keep your head up.
yeah.
Just keep going.
I think the biggest problem though is the fact that in a lot of programs, especially in science, it's very competitive. And so instead of help,
Extremely, yes.
yeah, so instead of helping each other out, it's sort of like, oh, because there's 70 spots left there, we gotta be the best. And so ultimately, other people sort of like try to pull you down and sort of like
I'll tell you something
you're
about that.
dumber than me, and sort of like it's
I'll,
kind
t-
of
I'll tell you something about that. It's a few like I think last semester. Yeah, it was last semester. We had this like project in university. It's called Minicap.
okay.
Minicap is like capstone. It's short for capstone. It's like the engineering project where you have to like meet like different engineers from
Mm,
different fields meet up, like two from mechanical, two from electrical, and one from construction, whatever.
mm.
And they meet up so they can create a project. And whatever the project this year was, like I don't know, like a machine that throws frisbees. I don't know,
Okay, yeah,
something
something
like that.
small, yeah.
So one time we were designing the pieces on SolidWorks, like the program itself on a computer.
Yeah.
We're designing the gears and stuff. And mid project, my partner, we were two so
Okay.
far,
Okay.
decided to go to another group to
Mm,
complete the five
mm.
members over there. So I was left alone with the
Wow.
half of the minicap to do and to complete.
Wow.
It's a lot of backstabbing, man. Like
Yeah, it's a lot.
like to gain so he could gain a spot and do like 1/5 of the work that's already done. He
Yeah, sort of.
sacrificed half with me and
Yeah.
through like the other half of me to complete alone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But thankfully, I found another team and stuff, and we collided our projects together. But just to like give you an example of how people are, man, they don't give
Well,
a. Oh,
well, that's why it's very so you have to be very ruthless in this game where it's like yeah, but
yeah, but I
ultimately
don't stab people, man.
but
Like
that's the thing.
I don't do it
No, no,
personally.
no. I
I
mean,
don't
I
like
mean,
it.
like you gotta be very self-aware. It's very aware of what people can do and how like the game works. Because ultimately, and that's why like I have really bad like trust issues and sort of like whenever I meet someone, it's just like it's the game. You gotta test out the waters and see what
Yeah,
their intentions really are.
see who's putting in the work and who
Yeah, and
isn't. And
seeing like if they're really talking the talk or they're just talking shit. But it's but the thing is like a lot of people have this sort of You have this idea, like right now, like I had this idea, man. We did a podcast, right? And thankfully, I've stumbled upon people who actually enjoy making the podcast and editing the podcast. So I was, and also our filmmaking. So I was looking in that department, but like for the longest time, I was recruiting like many different people to help me out with projects, and it was like the most like it just didn't work because you meet people who are just not they're in there for their self-interest, right? So
Hmm.
but the thing is, a lot of big projects, even like big companies that started off, they're all like small little things that were nothing, and then because it was consistently built upon, uh and worked on, it eventually became a big thing, which I find hilarious because that's usually when everyone starts flocking towards it, right? So like
Yeah.
like whenever you have a unsuccessful thing, like you have a book, you write a book, it's like, oh, your book is nice, whatever, and then later on you become a really successful author. It's like, oh, can I have a signature? And it's like very very
Yeah.
funny.
Like, where were you when I started? You know what I'm saying?
You could have
Right.
been a part of this, but instead you wanted to be against me for some odd like ego reason, like very prideful reason. It's like
Like,
I feel it's
people that were there from the beginning should be the people that are like credited for their participation
exactly.
and helped you like grow from the beginning. Those are the people that you should keep close to, and I agree with that.
And also like a lot of people who basically make it out alive, like Zuckerberg is one of the big examples where he fucked over his friend to become
Yeah.
bigger, and
Hmm.
it's sort of like it goes both ways at the same time, so it's kind of fucked.
Right. Yikes.
So like that's also a question that I wanted to ask you guys. What do you value more? Would you guys rather work at a place where you're not happy but you get a fuck ton of money, or you work at a place that's more moderately, like beneficial in terms of monetary, but like it brings you a lot of happiness? So like,
Option B.
oh, so okay.
Uh, hmm.
So
Option
say
B.
like, yeah. So say you have like say Masari, you have like a small garage that makes not like not much. Well, it makes it's enough for you to live, but it's not like it doesn't profit you like millions,
You know
But you're
what?
happy doing it.
I think I'd pick option B because I presented my case where I said that I would rather do the technical program and be
Yeah,
more hands on and do something that I like. So logically speaking, if I
yeah.
would continue with my case, I'd say option B. Because if
I
I would
set
say
him up, bro. I
option
set him
A,
up.
yeah.
I
Because
set him
if
up.
because if I said
Like, he-
option A, I might as well keep doing the engineering stuff and just get the title and that's it. Put the ring on and call myself a
Yeah,
genius.
yeah. That's why. Yeah, because it's and this game is very tough because
It
of
is.
this whole capitalism mindset. Everyone's aiming for the money, but then they
yeah.
realize it's nothing there. It comes and
I mean,
goes.
the money comes by itself afterwards. If you, I believe, I'm a sole believer that if you do what you love and you put your heart into it and you do it as a passion and you grow upon that, I feel like the money is gonna come by itself.
Mm.
I feel like if you care for a business and if you invest in it and you care for it and you hire the good people to represent your business and to make good business as well at the same time, I feel like that is free advertisement for incoming customers, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah, makes
I
sense.
feel like if you're the same thing is like if you give shitty customer service and all you
Yeah.
do is care about the money, you're gonna close very soon.
Well, I mean, Apple is a good contradictory to that. It's
I
Right.
mean, okay, I'll say this. I'll say this. Like big companies like Apple is a trend. Everybody believes that. Like I believe
yeah,
it. I believe like
it is a
Apple
trend. It
products
is
is
a
a
trend.
trend. Like I feel like people have iPhones just to flex on people that have like
Yeah,
Androids.
that's whatever. That's
You know what I'm saying?
that's all over the place.
I would happily own a Samsung Galaxy S20 whatever's out, bro. You know,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
yeah.
because
I've
I heard like Samsung makes great phones, even
Yeah.
better than Apple's.
Huawei is also like many Asian companies that make really good phones. It's just that their
Yeah,
product,
Huawei. Like I've heard about that company too. They
but
make excellent phones as
yeah,
well.
they're the first ones to make 5G. Well, I mean, Korea is the first ones to make 5G to Japan as well. But then
Mhm.
Trump banned them. So
I mean,
Oh,
with Joe's administration now, they're gonna remove some of those bans.
well, yeah, we'll see what happens with Joe. He's a politician.
Yeah, he
yeah.
is. I mean, the guy played Despacito on a live conference call. For
So
God's sake, I mean,
yeah, I
like the
don't
man pulled out his phone. He was like,
I
"Damn, I
I don't
lost it
know.
when I said he's like trying so hard."
We'll see. All right, well, let's end this off with a bunch of would you rather's. Very simple ones. So, speaking of money, would you rather win $50,000 or let your best friend win $500,000?
I let my best friend win
Best
$500,000.
That's your okay.
Yeah.
Huh, makes sense. Would you continue with your life or you want to restart it?
Restart it
It's not bad, huh?
quick. You have no idea, bro. Yeah, like if I had the restart button, I'd kick that motherfucker.
Yeah, he went so quick.
If I had the
Like,
restart button on my life, I would kick it with my boot, bro.
Do I
So,
get
yeah.
to remember everything if
Nothing. You restart everything. It's all
No,
fresh.
no. Blank. Oh
it's
man, but
reset.
if I blank my memory, I'm just gonna end up doing the same dumb shit I did before.
You might. You never know.
God damn it.
I'm really
Okay, I would agree with in this scenario that I would remember nothing. However, I would like to have a ghost of the future visit me at least once.
Well, that's
Please.
cheating, though. That's cheating.
Give me
That's
that.
cheating.
Okay, listen. Okay. Put
It's
a limit on the ghost, man. Tell the
A
ghost.
time limit.
that
You have a time limit.
Yeah. Put the
Fine,
ghost as 5
restart.
seconds. Like the ghost shows up as 5 seconds, gives me as much information as possible, and dips.
If you
And
want a
disappears and never comes back.
a 5-second ghost, how do you know if there's a ghost there? How do you know?
I mean, obviously you're gonna see the motherfucker.
But yeah. So Phil, what is your answer?
I guess I'll restart.
You too.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure. I don't know. I would continue it because I can't be bothered restarting all through high school and all that shit, bro.
I'd do that shit again, man.
Wait,
in a heartbeat.
Is the restarted existence the same one?
Yeah. It's restart. So you were born as Phil, but you just restart your whole existence. So you change your choice, change your choices.
Yeah, I guess restart. I could always do better, I guess.
Yeah.
But how do you know? Because you never know what the mistakes you did in the past life.
Right.
That's
right.
why you need
That's
the
what I'm
ghost
saying.
of the future. Listen, let me ask this. Let me ask one ghost, bro, for 5 seconds, just to give me a
I'll give
brief
you-
up or a cap.
I'll
bro.
give you a Obi-Wan Kenobi for 5 seconds. I'll give you an Obi-Wan.
You're gonna send me a fart from the future, bro. I know you, you troll.
The future's gonna be like,
This guy's gonna send me an L from the future. It's like, yeah, look, use a bum, and I send you the predicament.
got him. Another one. Would you rather have 3 kids and no money, or no kids and $3 million?
No kids and $3 million.
No kids and 3.
No kids and 3 money?
No. I have no idea.
Okay. Would you rather experience the beginning of the planet Earth or the end of planet Earth?
The beginning. What the fuck? The end? Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I'm not ready for that, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
The
Let me
beginning-
tell you something.
You're closer to the end. You're closer to the.
Darryl, let me add something to that, please. I need to say this.
Vazi.
Some people are not ready to see the end.
Hey, yo,
That's
wait.
including me, man.
If I see the end, then do I come back to the present?
Yo. Okay, I'll see the end if I can come back.
I want to see the future.
If the requirement is to see the end to restart, I'll do it.
Yeah, he goes, I'll see the end. And then tomorrow's like, oh, what date is? Oh, fuck. It goes back one day.
Tomorrow.
Goes back one day.
That's
Or
funny.
that afternoon.
Pretty funny.
Forever traumatized. Was it worth it?
Oh my god.
If I can come back, I'll go to the future. If not, past
Passed? Okay. Well,
Brain damage,
beginning.
100%.
begin in the beginning. Would you rather be free or totally safe? So you could roam
Free.
around
Free.
Free. No shackles on me.
No, ain't no strings on me. Would you? Oh, that's tough. Would you rather date someone you love or date someone who loves you? So you love, but they don't love you
Whoa.
back, or they love you, but you don't love them.
I'd rather date someone that loves me.
You see?
Because at least I am guaranteed cheeks at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah, that's mad. You're playing with them.
If I love them, but they don't love me,
Hell nah.
It's basically like either we
it's
sacrifice
not good
yourself.
for them either.
I'm not going out as a simp. Fuck that.
If it's good for it, like if I love them and they don't love me, then they're unhappy, and I would feel unhappy that they're unhappy, and I would feel unhappy that it's not reciprocated.
Well, say you're completely oblivious to the other person's interior.
Oh, and
mindset.
not
You just
know?
love them. You're infatuated with them, but you don't know that they don't love you. Just like,
Well, how long is it gonna last then?
well, as long
Not
as
long,
as,
man.
as long as she doesn't kick you in the face, you know.
Okay.
Nah, I'd rather have somebody that loves me though, because here's the thing. Like, at least I like the guarantee thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
if
think if yeah,
yeah,
to
go ahead.
what he's saying, um, if they love me, like, why wouldn't I learn to love them?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's people who've asked you out and you weren't attracted to them.
Mm.
So like
Um,
a lot of people like different things, but doesn't mean that they all like the same.
right.
So it's like,
Yeah.
But if it's a choice between those two, I feel like that's a
so yeah, who'd you take? Someone you love, or someone who loves you?
Come on,
I
Phil,
think
spit it
I
out. You
think
know what you want.
I think I would say someone who loves me because I'd still be sympathetic and even though I don't love the person, I'll still be respectful and I'll try to like
exactly.
help them out.
I think I'll be a better person.
Yeah.
The person that loves me.
Like I feel better like giving something even though I'm sacrificing my own like happiness, if you will, like giving something back to make them happy instead of just like being a fucking simp and just like, oh my god,
Exactly.
I want it.
Exactly. See, Darryl gets my point, and Darryl's really into symbiotic relationships. He'd be a very he'd be the
Symbiotic.
perfect. He'd be a very good, he'd be a really good candidate for the Venom.
The Venom French. I'll be
Yeah.
Carnage. I'll be Carnage.
You will.
Carnage. Oh, I can't wait for that trailer to drop, man.
Yeah, I think it's in the mix of next year. I think.
If Carnage is white, I'm gonna lose my shit.
No,
That's
it's
true.
red. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be red. He better be.
If he's white, if he's that wait, the white one is anti Venom, I think.
Yeah, anti-Venom.
In the comic books. Ah,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I mixed up the two.
Yeah, and then there's Agent Venom as well, so it's gonna be quite interesting.
Right. That could be cool. I'd like to
Yeah,
see.
and there's Ultimate Venom too, like the big one. Like they call him God Venom or something. I don't know.
You mean
The
they're like
pappy of all like.
yeah, I think that's Null. He's called.
That's the god. No, that's the god.
The
of
god.
the-
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
No.
Yeah.
Nul.
And I think like fought Thor when Thor was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, he's super old, right? So he like fought Thor when Thor was just growing up. And there's this whole connection to the Thor mythology.
I am mighty.
Oh shit.
But yeah, and yeah, one more. Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told, Miss Sarah?
Wait, say that again.
Would you rather lose the ability to lie or believe everything you're told, Miss Sarah?
Man, you're tapping into my gullible self, aren't you? Okay. I'd rather lose the ability to tell a lie.
Okay.
Because I've experienced the other coin, the other side of the coin very much. Yeah.
In a selfish, I have to answer this in a roundabout way.
Okay.
The answer.
Cop out.
No, I'm gonna answer it.
Okay.
If I were to choose, believe everything I'm told, wouldn't that be bliss? Like, it's blissful ignorance. I get to be ignorant forever, and I get to be happy forever.
But say your mom died. Someone told you your mom died. You believe that shit, and you're like, oh, wait, you're not dead.
Yeah, that side of the coin is not fun, buddy, and I can tell you that from now,
What
bro.
I'm saying
From me as a witness.
Yeah, I mean, it's hypothetical, but yeah.
I would definitely lose the ability to lie without batting an eye.
But if you could tell the truth all the time,
that's stress.
I mean, you'll be the most honest guy alive.
Yeah, but nobody
which
likes
isn't
honesty.
a bad thing.
Nobody likes honesty.
A lot of psychology professors that live in Toronto would not like me.
Ayo, chill, man. UFC it was 257 coming up this Saturday. We're gonna have what's his name? Jordan Peterson versus Phil.
Jordan Peterson versus Peter Jordanson.
Peter Jordanson.
I'm betting on Phil, man.
Oh,
I'm betting on Phil to whoop his ass.
Well, he's younger and he's a hippie, so he sell drugs.
I can make him overdose.
Make him overdose.
You can send him to the gulag.
Oh,
but for real, like damn, man. I'd rather be the most honest guy on the planet. I feel like it's a good thing. Like, people would ask you like your honest opinion. You'll always answer them honestly. It's a guarantee. I'll charge money for that.
Out in your favor.
Yeah, it does not go out in your favor at all.
But here's the thing: you'd feel good about yourself.
Yes, you would feel good about yourself, but nobody will like you.
You'd be feeling yourself.
I feel like that's like a Ben Shapiro response. Like facts don't care about your feelings. Remember that line?
I feel like Because yeah, I
Fuck
know
that
that
guy, man. He's an
whenever I'm honest, it's always met with like because not many people like honesty. No matter how honest they want the person, when you hear the truth, it hurts most of the
It's
time.
good though. It's good for you though.
Yeah, in the long term, it is good for you because you learn.
Of
But on the
course.
short term, you get fucking like a lot of people get
How
hurt.
you deliver the truth.
Granted, yes.
I mean, you guys messed with me for like 5 years straight, and that shit built me like a bullet.
Yeah,
Like,
but it hurts
I'm-
you a lot. It hurts you a lot, though.
But I'm as thick as the wall of China, bro. Like like nothing past me no more. You know what I'm saying?
No one's as tough and what's the word, and perseverant as you, Sar. Not
Hey
everyone is.
man, I appreciate you, bro. And you guys like really made high school such happy memories. So seriously, like I'm saying it's not to be sarcastic in any way. I'm saying
I'm so happy flashback of all the bad things that happened.
it's not bad. No. Here's the thing. Like you might think it's
All
bad things.
around me are familiar.
Dude, I'm telling like, yo, some people from high school, I'm telling you, some people from high school reached out to me and apologized for some shit.
Oh
For
yeah,
a lot of shit. I
Hey,
swear to God, like,
hey, it's also
um,
growth.
I-
Asking.
I'm not gonna name them because like I'll respect them for coming up to me and tell me. But so a lot of them like showed up to, hey man, like I know like I was rough on you when we were like kids and stuff, and I used to like say things to you and make you put down and stuff, and I'm really sorry about. And like they came up like bro, like a decade later. Like literally, like almost a decade later, and they showed up and they started apologizing for some shit. I'm like, oh man, come on! I buried that stuff a long time ago, and I told them it's chill. Like,
and look, you're like check.
like things, like okay, like they're like they have
the hit list.
Yeah, a hit list.
like yo, who's the person that I messed with the most? Miss like they have like that box.
Yeah,
like,
it's out of the box. It's like, oh, so he apologized to me, so I won't ruin his life.
Darryl has that list somewhere.
Oh, but hey, like,
hey,
it's people like Darryl, Joseph, Jad, and all like the OGs,
The
back
OGs.
from high school. They're the ones that shaped the character that I am today.
Yeah.
Like it's thanks to you guys, and I, even if I haven't said it enough, I'd like to say like thank you to all of you for making like the experience like fun and stuff. Even if there was like jokes and stuff, it was all jokes at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
we'd look out.
It's really fucked up jokes. It won't pass today.
It's fucked jokes, but here's the thing: like at the same time, as the jokes like we were said, we looked out for each other in a way. Like we always together. We played cards, bro, and we had those like moments together that forged a bond, and it made us to the characters and the personalities that we are today. So I appreciate it, of course, from the bottom of my heart. That's why I love like connecting back with you guys and stuff. Like as soon as Darryl like told me like, oh, he was working on this like movie project / project.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, bro.
Like, I'm in. Like I've been waiting, and I'm looking forward to even more opportunities to work with both of you. Hopefully, it's untapped adventures. I see it. You know.
Yeah.
How about you, Phil? Did you reconnect with your high school bullies?
Bullies.
Surprisingly, yeah. I've had a few of them. One of them messaged me at some point saying, "I'm sorry for what I put you through," and I thought that was very nice of them. And I've not like every single one, but that's okay. That's not like.
Well, I'm glad you like my apology. That's good.
Let us bygones be bygones.
It's the one thing both of you have in common is you have to deal with my ass growing up.
That's true.
So anyways, we'll end it on that note tonight. I'm Darryl.
I'm Phil.
I'm Cyril.
And we're glad to say that we're no longer the bullies that we once were or the victims that we once were.
Right. We've grown.
And until next episode, next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Pieces.